We were discovered, we with the band, we were discovered by Mike McDonald, the Doobie Brothers. Beautiful, beautiful soul, great person, incredible talent. We were big fans. We were playing the Steak and Ale, the Jolly Ox restaurant across from the Hampton Coliseum. The Doobie Brothers were playing the Coliseum. We were doing our gig. So we decided that we'd go. We knew where they were staying, the Sheraton Coliseum. So my drummer, John Molo, and I, two big guys, he's a big, strong guy, just a big bony ass, but still tall. We went to the Sheraton Coliseum, and we walked in looking for Mike, and he's standing right there in the lobby. So we go up to him, and we're sort of towering over him. We say, "Hey, Mike, we're the baddest motherfuckers in this town, and we're playing at the Steak and Ale over there." Of course, those two statements don't go together. Yes, really.
Pushkin.
So sure enough, he did come. It was their night off, and the next night they were playing at the Hampton Coliseum. And we'd saved all our, what we called the originals, my songs that we had played. We'd actually pulled off a pretty difficult trick as lounge entertainers. We'd started maybe 6-8 months before this to slip songs of mine in between Brick House and Shake Your Booty. And we acquired an audience gradually who wanted to just hear those songs and not the top 40 dance material. So that was great. It was hard. It's hard to do. So we saved all our originals. He came in. He brought a couple of his roadie friends in the crew, and we just wore it out. And he came up and was a little blown by it. He said, "Hey, that was really something. Come over and join me at the Sheraton. Let's just hang out." So we did. And then we're sitting around whatever bar in the Coliseum, and while we're hanging, he says, "Hey, come on up to my room. We got our new record coming out tomorrow. I'd like to play it for you. It's called Minute by Minute." It's okay, sure. So we go up there, and he's playing What a Fool Believes and Minute by Minute, and it's fantastic. We're just kind of blown away by the whole experience. And he started talking about turning us on to his producer, Ted Templeman, and I drove home just going, "Oh my God, is this it? Is this the big thing?" Next night, he came back after the gig. He sat in the place was packed. The word had gotten out. He sat in with us on a song, and a couple of nights later, we sat in with them at the Richmond Coliseum, and we're going, "Wow, is this the big break?" So that was, say, December 1, 1978, and I got signed in April of 1985. So no such luck. We went out and slept on his floor for 10 nights in February of 79, Molo and I. Mm-hmm. And he was, at that point, he was singing on every record under the sun in L.A. So many great moments of Mike being a background singer on great records. He would take our tape, which was pretty bad, alas. It was not great. He would take our little reel-to-reel and give it to producers. From that, we got some producer interest. That tape got me a songwriter deal, and a year and a half later, I moved to L.A. as a staff songwriter for 20th Century Fox in 1980, and was grinding away. Again, 5 years after that, which was a year and a half after we met Mike, I got my record deal. And so that wasn't luck. It took me a while to find my own voice, something that was unique to me in some way. Before that, I guess I probably sounded kind of like a Doobie Brothers copy or a Steely Dan-ish copy. But finally, I assimilated a bunch of different influences that were always influences that I loved. I featured some more sort of Americana, more folk or Appalachian instruments. We got the great David Mansfield playing fiddle and mandolin. So the range, I was playing accordion. The range was sort of our version of of the band. We were going for that kind of feeling. But then we didn't get signed with that. I was frustrated with the way my songs sounded with the band, so I went in with a drum machine and a piano, made about 4 demos, and that's the tape that didn't get passed on. And the former rhythm guitar player of the Zombies, who was the head of RCA A&R, beautiful man named Paul Atkinson, he came forth and offered us. Wow. And so then there was another company, big company, Epic, that came in as well, but we were feeling Paul, signed with him, and then the record comes out, and this is the luck part. Most people in powerful positions thought that The Way It Is was a B-side. It makes sense. It's a song about racism with not one but 2 improvised piano solos. That's hardly the formula for pop success. So that's what they thought. They released another song, Every Little Kiss. It got up to 72 with an anchor on the Billboard 100 and then plummeted away. The poor embattled and embittered BMG promo rep in London went to his friend, who was a disc jockey at Radio 1, BBC, said, Mickey, me boy, we got this record. We don't know what to do with it. We really like it. It's kind of country, kind of jazz. We don't know what to do with it. Would you give it a listen? So this guy, Nick Vilkoich is his name, put it over the weekend, played the record, picked this one song, put it on the radio Monday, blew up throughout the UK, and there we were. So that's the luck part. Could have easily not happened as happened.
The good old days when one DJ in one city.
If it happens to have that kind of effect, yes, it has to really make a mark, and so The Way It Is did, and we were over there quickly making a video in London and lip syncing on Top of the Pops and the Terry Wogan Show, which was the Johnny Carson of the time. It's where I met Elton John. He was on the Wogan Show when we fledglings were also on, and I'm getting made up before I'd learn how to say no to such things. I'm in there getting makeup put on, and I hear this unmistakable voice, "Where's Bruce Hornsby? Where's Bruce fucking Hornsby? Where is he?" I'm thinking, well, I think that's Elton John, because I'd heard he's on the show. He walks in with a Tina Turner wig on, which is how he appeared on the show, and just threw his arms around me. He's the most beautiful person, and was a supporter then and all the way through until now. Great, beautiful moments like that continue to happen.
And he was a big early influence on you. You didn't really start piano seriously until quite late.
No, I was a hooper. I was a jock. What is it? Amarina. Mm-hmm. My brother played it for me from the Tumbleweed Connection record. We were riding down the Colonial Parkway from Williamsburg, Virginia to Yorktown, Virginia. And he puts on this 8-track, and it just blew me out. It just moved me so deeply. I got the record, and every song was amazing. Burned Down the Mission, you know. So great.
Now, Woody, are there parts of his playing that showed up then?
Not really.
In your playing, really?
No, not really. And my other influence was Leon Russell, and I never wrote anything that sounded like that's the. I didn't do. Subsequently, I've been influenced by Leon. I have a song called "Country Doctor" that goes like this. that's sort of Leon. That's my stuff. Mm-hmm. That's something I developed later. It's a two-handed independence thing.
What was it about Leon Russell then?
Leon Russell, what I was just playing, the letter.
You loved that.
And I loved it. And so I thought I'd really grokked it, really sort of ingested all the Leon until I started working with him in the early 90s. Then I saw at the foot of the master, oh yeah, no, I don't have it. But then I was able to learn it from just standing here watching that.
You have relative pitch.
Yeah, that's right. If I can hear basic pop harmony. If it gets too chromatic, then I'm kind of probably out of it, probably done. But yeah, definitely not. So I can sit in with the band. I went in off the street with no rehearsal and started winging it with the Grateful Dead at Madison Square Garden. Mm-hmm. So that sort of relative pitch allowed me to, I didn't play too many chords on one because I didn't know the song, but I could go, okay, yeah, okay, I'll think of the song. Yeah. So as I sit there playing, on the day when I was born, Daddy went down, down. So I knew that one. It's just
right.
Something that came into my head. So if I didn't know it, they on the day when I was, okay, I got that. Daddy went down and cried. So yeah, all that.
When you say things like, I love the tenths in this
Yes.
hand, I love these kinds of chords,
Yeah.
How did that develop? Were you just at a piano all the time?
Well, I guess so. Mm-hmm. More than most, I guess. It's just exploration and going with what moves you. With my favorite people were people who gave me chills, or on a groove level, like Leon Russell, just sat so deeply in this thing that I wanted to try to replicate that. I'm not sure I did or do, but that's the intent. So I guess I'm just following the goosebumps, following the chills. And if I play something, now I kind of know what gives me chills. And they're the chords like this. I have a song on a record 3 or 4 albums ago called My Resolve. And the chorus goes, in my resolve I move the rock, maybe fall down trying. My ineptitude stares me down, in this face I cower. I try to stand above the fray, stand up or not by, and I move on up above the hill to maybe fully flower. I flower. I just love that sound, and so that's what gets me going. One of the things that.
And did you know theory back then? Could you say, oh, I'm about to play? I
was learning it quickly. I was totally involved in it, totally immersed in knowing the theoretical aspect of harmonic movement, chords. Yeah.
So I'm talking about earlier in your career. When you, for example, went in, we were talking earlier about the song you did with Bonnie Raitt. You've done many songs with her, but the most famous.
Yes. I changed that.
Okay.
I changed that.
So when you, given all these influences you had, all these people you had heard, when you went in, you heard the song, I don't know, were you given sheet music? Were you given...
They gave me a cassette.
Okay.
I was staying at some hotel in Hollywood. It's a big one right on Melrose. It's changed names. Mm-hmm. I don't remember
by the way, we should say the name of the song, which is I Can't Make You Love Me.
I Can't Make You Love Me,
which
right.
Is
yes.
Gorgeous song.
Yeah, fantastic. Mike Reed and Alan Shamlin, right? The two guys who wrote it. Hats off. Sitting O for them. So, right, I heard this, they gave me this cassette.
Was it a bare bones?
I guess it was, bare bones enough. I guess if my memory has it being played on an electric piano, but I could have that wrong. So, right, I think it was basically... so I changed it to...
So that chord that you substituted in that first, what did you turn it into from what it was?
That's what I turned it into. Is that? Yeah.
So it was just.
It was just straight.
Yeah.
Very churchy.
Yeah.
And when I first played, I played the electric piano, the intro, and I played it like that, so it'd have some place to go when I came in 4 bars later. I was pretty faithful to the original for the first 4 bars when I'm playing some sort of electric keyboard.
Okay, so now tell me what sound you wanted when you started in on the piano.
Just that.
I mean,
not really Bill Evansy, but sort of lush in a stark way, rather than that's very Klaus Ogerman or Ravel-ish, and I like that, but I like the other more. That moves me more. So I'm just always looking to feel something emotional, and all this thing, everything that I'm doing for you, whether it's that or the 10th. It's all something that has something deep to me, a deep soul is what I'm going for.
That version of the song also has a wonderful, surprising chord at the end.
Yeah, well, I think that was there. That was there.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I can't remember precisely.
Yeah,
but
it's the major, the dominant 7th, F sharp. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That thing, yeah.
Which is wonderful because that is such a beautiful song. It deserves to fade out. And then just as it's fading, you hear this.
Oh, is that right? It fades out like that?
It fades a little bit, but then you hear that beautiful chord in the end. Yeah. It's got such power at the end of that song.
Well, it's very nice of you to say. I wouldn't give myself too much credit for that. I think I think the song is so great and her vocal is so great. That's what really, to me, makes it. But I don't know.
But to me, what's interesting for me is you do have these influences, and you probably have other influences we haven't talked about, but they all informed somehow.
Yeah, sure.
How you came to that piece. Are there different influences on your songwriting back then?
I'm sure there were. Depends on what record you're talking about. I've gradually moved on. Each record was a little different from the previous.
I would say your early, if I think of End of the Innocents or Valley Road, you love your suspended chords.
Yeah, okay, right. But I don't think, say, End of the Innocents and Valley Road have a lot harmonically in common. One's just a straight ahead. That chord, that's a chord, and then the Innocents is a lick. There's nothing. That's so they're very different. One's just kind of a groove thing. sort of a Steve Miller-ish idea.
Yeah.
Valley Road.
But they both have the, I guess
they have
particularly
some
some suspensions. Yeah.
Yeah, they had right that same chord that I was singing my song "My Resolve" over. That's in Valley Road. That's kind of the first little harmonic trick, I guess.
We've talked about, and you don't love it, what people say is the Bruce Hornsby
sound
style,
piano
which
sound,
now everybody's saying, I got to play like you now. Then you completely changed your style.
People might not know what you're referring to, because you're referring to a story I told you about running into Nashville piano players who would come up to me, running into them in airports or wherever, and they'd come up to me and say, "Man, all day long, people are asking me, hey, can you play it a little more like Bruce Hornsby?" Mm-hmm. And I would always say, "Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not really. I'm not. You're probably not a fan of it either, because you get asked to do it, and I'm not really either. It's too bright for me.
Yeah,
it's just something that happened." But as I told you before, we were filming.
You should probably tell them. Yeah, my record company says the same thing to me.
What do you mean?
Well, your record company would like you to play more like the Bruce Hornsby.
More like what you did.
Yeah.
Well, but see, here's an interesting story, but that was lucky for me. So Paul Atkinson, the ex-Zombies rhythm guitar player who signed me at RCA, he and a lot of others thought that The Way It Is was a B-side. They said because of the unexpected, massive success of that record, the big shots said, well, we don't know what to do with this. We didn't predict this. We predicted the opposite. So they left me alone. They did not pressure me in that way, because, again, the song that really blew up was a completely unexpected piece of music. So the next record, the Scenes from the South Side, we had this, you mentioned Valley Road, and that was also unlikely. It's a song about a young society girl who gets involved with a young country boy, and he puts her in the family way, and they send her away to the school for unwed mothers, which is an old notion. I don't think that exists anymore, but it may. But it's, again, hardly... It's sort of hardly standard pop fare lyrically. And again, I'm soloing like crazy on that when I'm playing McCoy Tyner, what's called chordal harmony. That sort of thing.
Can you give us just a quick definition? Chordal harmony meaning
it's chords and fourths. Yes. Yeah. The interval of the fourth. 1, 4, 4. So there's a extended. Wow, that sounds like my song "Long Tall Cool One." So that's a different one. So, right. So it was chordal harmony on the radio. What the hell? So I got away with this sort of thing twice. Way It Is, Valley Road. And then I guess it was kind of, I think of those records in a certain way as novelty records, because they were, in the best sense, novelty because they were so different sounding, and it was a sound that was not off-putting. It was not incredibly. It wasn't like that. But that was it. That was all I was going to get out of the morning zoo crowd.
Then later with I think Hot House, Spirit Trail,
right?
Your changing takes your playing takes a very different.
That's right.
Direction.
Yes, I was. I turned 40 years old in the late fall of 1994, and I thought to myself, "Okay, what are you going to do? You going to rest on your laurels like most of your pop star friends, or just kind of not really deeply involved in moving forward as a player, as a creator, and kind of riding along with the same stuff that you've been doing. Am I going to do that, or am I going to push to a new place? Well, I took the second road. Back to Keith Jarrett, he was incredible. He had incredible gift or skill development that I call two-handed independence. He could play something in the left hand and then play something very rhythmically opposed to that. Sounded like two people playing, this sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And I'd always opened that door to a piano technique and go too hard, close it up. But this time I decided to try to deal with it in my own boneheaded way. And so I did that. And I had a song on a spiritual record. So that's the thing, the independence. I'm playing very rhythmically, freely in the right hand, while hopefully keeping this left hand ostinato real solid. Mm-hmm. That took a long time.
How did you go about that? Was it by writing the songs, or was it playing other songs?
But it made me write songs like that. I think that song is called "Sneaking Up on Boo Radley," and
of course,
you know the song. You know that?
You're not going to believe it, but what do I have written right there? Sneaking Up on Boo Radley.
So what made you write it down?
I love the song.
Okay, great. Okay.
I heard the kind of Keith Jarrett left hand. I didn't know.
Yeah, well,
I didn't know it came out of this exercise.
Well, but you were right on the track. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a song about growing up in a small town with a mental hospital, in which a lot of the patients were allowed to just walk around town. And when we were little 9, 10-year-old dumbasses, we thought they were just hilarious with their crazy walks. And so we made fun of them. And it's very much like To Kill a Mockingbird with Robert Duvall's character, and the way the kids were alternately scared and freaked out by him and also made fun of him. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to write this song because this was part of my upbringing, part of my past in Williamsburg, Virginia, Eastern State Hospital. I would say I would get this in. Watch me screw it up. You got to crawl before you can walk, before you can run. Now, what I did in that 50 seconds, it took me many, many months to go from the whole note to free playing. Amazing. Like that. Probably about 7, 8 months of dealing with it, doing it intensely. My wife said to me, I'd been doing this for about a week and a half. She said, "Man, what are you doing out there?" Meaning in the studio. You spend enough time out there as it is, and now you're spending 3 or 4 hours more. I said, "Okay, I understand. Here's what I'm asking of you, Kathy Hornsby." I said, "Okay." I did. First of the year came, and I called the Virginia Special Olympics and the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, two great philanthropic concerns, and I said, "Hi, this is Bruce Hornsby. I'm just calling you because I'd like to do a benefit for you, and I'd like to do it in early May. Can we schedule one for May 5th and one for May 7th?" And so they said, "Yeah, okay, fine. We'll take the money. We'll do that." I wanted to schedule that to give me something to shoot for, a signpost down the road that would make me really deal with this, because it was a solo concert. I hadn't done that much at all because I wasn't ready. I couldn't do it. I said to my wife, okay, I've scheduled these two things, these two concerts. Give me this 4 months, and then after the first one, just come back and we'll talk about this. So I did the first concert for Special Olympics in Richmond. It was a 2-setter. I did one set. She came back with tears in her eyes and went, "Oh my God, I'm so happy you did this. This is so beautiful, so great." So she's a very musical person, and so this she got it. She understood and was moved by it. So that's what made me deal with it. It's always good to have some public forum where you are charged with really having something together that you've never dealt with. So that's what I've been doing for years. But Spirit Trail was the first one. So good for you for understanding that. King of the Hill. That sort of thing. So not doing it very well, but that's another version of it. Spirit Trail is chock-a-block with two-handed independence.
When we started, and I said, "Is it all just good luck or good fortune?" I think we're seeing some insight into how you navigate these things. You like throwing yourself against these challenges.
Well, I was just, for instance, in this case, I just was always blown away by when I would hear someone do something like this in an improvisatory forum. And so I wanted to be able to do my own version of it. And it's simple as that. Look, all this work that I put in with that, it leads you to a place that guards against popularity. Because this stuff is not what the average person wants to hear in the popular forum. People want to hear a good song sung well with a nice, great production, hopefully. This isn't that at all. This is something completely obscure and obtuse and off-putting to the average listener. So I know that all this time I put in, it wasn't about becoming a bigger deal, playing arenas. This sort of thing doesn't work in arenas. It's kind of like jazz music. By the very nature of the way the drums play, it's hard for that to translate in a large space. Nobody's going, tom, cop, tom, cop. They're just going, tom, boom, boom, boom. So, it's very free. It's very open. And if you're 60 yards away, it's hard to feel that. So yeah, it didn't help me in that way. Well, but it's not what it's ever been about. This is about a singular pursuit.
But you do play songs like that in your concerts. You've been able to bring your crowd along.
Oh, I do. Well, yes and no. I've lost a lot of people who want to have a nostalgic night out. I understand it too. I get it completely. I'm like anybody else. If I go to a concert, I'm probably going to that concert, well, if it's a pop concert or a rock concert, because I love more than a few of their songs. So I guess I'm hoping to hear their songs. I'm maybe more open than the average person to something else because it's what I do. It's easy for me to want that. But most people do go to a concert for that nostalgia, that stroll down memory lane. And I get it. I don't dismiss it one bit. It's just it just can be a bit of a creative prison to feel like you're in a situation where you say to your band, "Here's the set list for the year," because that's what a lot of people do.
See you at the hotel.
Yeah, right. It's just basically you're hoping you're not phoning it in. There are people who are just great at doing that same set, and they mean it every night, and that's beautiful. It would be kind of hard for me, I think.
The other thing you did during that period, I think starting with Harbor Lights, is you really you brought in really challenging players to play with.
Well, you're right, and that's the popular notion, but actually, if you look at it, it really started with the Third Range record where I had Wayne Shorter, who I'd gotten to play on End of the Innocents. That's how I knew him. Charlie Hayden, Bela Fleck, Garcia on that. It's the Night of the Town. It's a good record. I love several of the songs on it. Barren Ground is great. Also using that same chord. I guess I'm repeating myself.
Soon Nashville pianists are going to come up and say, everybody wants that chord.
Yeah, wants that A over D. So that's where it really started, where I really started stretching out. Sean Colvin is on that record. I think I've named 5 or 6. And so, but yes, the next time somehow made more of a mark with the guests. I don't know why. Yeah, Pat Metheny was a huge guest on that Harbor Lights record, played so fantastic. In fact, I love that when I got to know the great Justin Vernon from Bon Iver, I learned that he, at age, say, 13, had transcribed the entire Pat Metheny Harbor Lights guitar solo.
Oh.
Some of it playing over these crazy... He's playing over that. That's hard to do. He just nailed it because he's a freak of nature, and I love him.
And then I can't remember the record it's on. White Wheel Limousine has him trading
with Bela.
With Bela Fleck, who we've had in here.
Pat and Bela, yes.
Yeah, which is it's just an amazing section of that record.
Love it. Yes, they both are just killing it. The cover of that record was a depiction of Bruce's Dream, which had Bill Monroe and Charlie Parker,
of course,
going at each other.
It.
Yeah. So Bela Fleck and Pat Metheny were modern archetypes of each guy, and that's the
also
fun of it.
Two guys who you just keep pushing it, like Bela Fleck's new stuff just keeps going.
Yeah, right, absolutely. They're kindred spirits.
Did you learn from playing with those guys? Did it change your playing?
I was on this other thing where it's sort of not applicable.
Yeah.
The two-handed independence thing is not something that they're dealing with. They're dealing with their own difficult issues when they're pushing the envelope. So I wouldn't really say that's true. I don't think anything. I think I was just in my own world with this, yeah.
2007, and I kept staring at this thinking, is this real that you did 2 albums that year?
Yes, very disparate.
One with the great Ricky Skaggs, who I think plays every instrument but the piano. How did you adapt? I'm not sure if you adapted the piano to bluegrass or bluegrass to the piano. It's not considered piano is not a bluegrass instrument.
No, it's not, but it can be made to sound very banjo-esque. Sometimes the piano doing something feels like it can sound like banjo, so it fit in pretty well. It's so challenging because the tempos are insane. Just ding, ding, ding. And these guys, Ricky's bands have always been freaky great. He gets the killer pickers of Nashville. Yeah. When I was playing with him, he had these guys, Andy Leftwich and Cody Kilby and Jimmy Mills on banjo. So I was just hanging on for dear life. Every time I'd had a Skaggs Hornsby tour coming, I would take the metronome out and put it on ding, 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 ding. I'm not even going to try it now because I'm totally out of practice with that. But if I did it, and I would do it. I loved my time doing all that. We made 2 records. 2007, the studio record, and 2013, this crazy jamming live record.
What's he like to play with? What kind of a?
Well, he's a joyous soul, a beautiful soul, and just warm person, funny too, ready for a laugh. some of that country humor. It's nothing quite like it. Often a little blue,
Yeah.
but great, very fun. But just a consummate a player, a musician, one of the great singers, and also like Garcia in his own way, a true walking encyclopedia of that music, of old time. I probably mentioned this before we went on the air. He turned me on to Doc Boggs and Roscoe Holcomb and Clarence Ashley, and again the Harry Smith anthology of folk music. It's such a deep well, so I learned so much from him in that way. He was very open. One time in the middle of a jam in Medford, Oregon, in about 2002, one or two, we were in a sort of a minor key, spacey thing with this kind of chords. And all of a sudden, this came to me fully formed, and I went... The song came and went, like the times that we spent hiding out from the rain under the carnival tent. Laughed and she smiled, it would last for a while. You don't know what you got till you lose it all again. Listen to the mandolin rain, listen to the music on the lake. Listen to my heart break every time she runs away. Listen to the banjo in a sad song drifting low. Listen to the tears roll down my face as she turns to go. So I played that for him, and he went, "Son, we have to record that." Mm-hmm. And because it was just something about it has that sort of deep mountain soul with that too. You know, it's sort of a combo thing that I would do.
To me, it's interesting because so much of what you're doing with jazz and a lot of dissonance is the sort of thing that you have to really be careful in bluegrass music. It doesn't, Western swing can do a lot of that stuff, but bluegrass, did you find it was not confining, but...
No, not confining. I feel like there are just some people coming to these Skaggs Hornsby concerts who wish I was not there. But I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for the group, Ricky and the guys, and they've responded so deeply to that. Mm-hmm. And so we recorded, and it's a very beautiful version of that. So that was, and then there's the other one, 2007.
Same year.
Yeah.
You did your jazz trio.
Yes, camp meeting.
Mm-hmm. With Christian
McBride, Jack DeJohnette.
DeJohnette.
Yes.
What was...
I'll tell you. So this is the origin story.
Mm-hmm.
I would run into those guys. I would go hear the Keith Jarrett trio at Carnegie Hall with Gary Peacock on bass and Jack playing drums. And I'd run into Jack backstage, and he would say, "Okay, man, when's the hit?" I say, "Well, I'll let you know." I run into Christian around somewhere, and he'd say, "Okay, man, when's the hit?" It's as if they'd conspired. Mm-hmm. You know? So I would say to Christian, "Well, when I figure out a way to do this, to make a jazz piano trio record that is not just me doing my Bill Evans or Chick Corea or just fill in the names, Red Garland, Wynton Kelly, whatever, Bud Powell. It's not me just doing my replication. Then I'll call you. Then the hit will happen. We'll schedule the hit. So it was a bit of a project, a back burner project that I would gradually work on over a 3 or 4 year period and come up with certain things that felt fresh, felt original, and that's the word. Okay, so when I came to them, I called them both up and said at a certain point, 2006, or maybe late 2005, hey, I think I've got an idea. And they said, okay, please send us stuff. And so I did. Send them both the recording of me playing these 7 or 8, 9 songs. Some were originals, some were reworkings of old jazz chestnuts. And it took them a good month to get back to me. It's a loud silence, loud silent month. So I'm thinking, okay, they don't like it, it's fine. Well, they called me up, but together, and they said, man, we really like this. It's very fresh. It sounds original. It sounds like an original take on this music. I said, well, okay, thanks a lot. That's great. But they said, you're not making it. You're not making it on a playing level, and so there's that. I said, well, okay. I humbly replied, I got you. We've got 5 months between now and the time we're slated to do this down at my house in Virginia. So give me those 5 months and come on down there. And if you still feel the same way about my lack of ability, then we'll just shake hands and call it a day. So I dealt with it. Luckily, I didn't have a ton going on, and they came down and we started hitting, and they went, okay. You've done the work.
You got to back up. What was the work?
Oh, the work was just learning how to play well. Here's a perfect example. So we played giant steps, which is one of the insane hallmarks of the literature. So I'm reharmonizing it in my own way, almost hymn-like. Okay, so what I was just soloing over those, my reharmonized, semi-reharmonization, and I had to learn how to do that, but do it well. Now I haven't done that in years, so I tried to keep it real simple so I wouldn't just completely blow it. But so that was okay. It wasn't great, but so yeah. So if I was going to make a record of doing that, I need to do that times 50. Yeah. And really get it so it's very, because it's you have to ingest it, and because if you that's a slow tempo, we went ding 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 ding. like that.
Yeah.
I'm just not under my fingers. You know? So that's what I had to do. I had to get to a point where it was so free. I could play so freely and nail it.
I should have asked you this earlier. Do you practice every day?
Oh, hell yeah.
How long? How?
I practice. I probably do about 2 or 3 hours. So, for instance, right now I'm working on music from my new record, and I'll play you a little bit of it. This is a song called Silhouette Shadows. I love a Shostakovich piece for one of his fugues in his Preludes and Fugues collection that he produced. Beautiful. I have a Keith Jarrett record of Keith playing the Shostakovich Preludes and Fugues. So I love the one in F sharp. It's number 13, I think. I just love it. It's so beautiful. And after fooling around with it for a while, I thought, well, I would like to do my own version of this, write a sort of a semi-fugue. So I did this when I was scoring films for Spike Lee. I threw this in there as he never picked it, which is okay. Then 2 or 3 years later, I started writing for this record, and this thing had been lying around for a little while. And I thought, let me try to write a song with words to this music. So I did, and it's on the record, and it goes like this. I'll try to play it. Watching from my Boston street into someone's window as Nixon resides. Good thing I'm tall. Going back to my 3rd floor, walk up, sounds in the air, the S&M couple beating each other and dreaming that summer like above my room. Beating each other and screaming that summer right above my room is what I was trying to say. Watching morning sitcom shows every day in the Schiff's house when I knew they were awake, making sure they'd never noticed I had been there. Couldn't believe I was doing this, was a needed break from the music school grind. And shadows, ancient scenes and cryptic dreams, silhouettes and shadows I sort of remember in the dim light, in the sharp outline, a cardboard cutout, shaded recollection, one life in reflection. And it goes on from there. So that's what I'm working on.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for checking out Broken Record on YouTube. If you want to listen to us on the go, be sure to subscribe to Broken Record wherever you listen to podcasts.